Well, hello everybody, Mr. O here, and today I am going to talk about something important, and mostly you're just going to see my hands move around. I'm going to talk about contracts. I decided to make this a two-part video because I didn't want just 20 minutes of me straight talking. I'm going to separate artist contracts into two categories. One, you as the artist making commission or freelance artwork, and two, what it is when you go through an art center, an art museum, and sign contracts, independent studios, that type stuff, and I will show that those contracts in the next part. So, the art commission contract. These are contracts I developed, and just a quick history behind it is I looked up contracts so I could do stuff, and I was finding it difficult to find a template to base anything on. So I was able to put this together, had a lawyer look at it. It's simple, straightforward. Usually I don't, it's not like I do $10,000 pieces of artwork, which would require something a little more intense. So what I basically did after the lawyer looked at it and approved it is I just kind of keep it, I got my logo. This is my studio logo. I'll be talking a little bit more about my studio than any other time. This is where I would put the street address of the studio, the city, or if you live in a different country, it could be the province, my phone number, and professional social media, not my personal social media. If you don't have a professional social media, I would recommend that you start a professional social media. And then dates are very important to any contract. The artist name and patron. The patron is the person who's paying for this commission piece. So let's just say it's a marker piece. And now for me, I could go pretty quickly with a marker. If it's something you're good at, but you don't do it all the time, you want to always keep time in your head. And as I get towards the end, we'll come back to how long should it take you to do a piece of artwork. The project. Basically, the patron is commissioning you to do a piece of artwork. Rights of refusal. If the intent of this contract, the artist creates artwork for the patron, and patron will purchase the artwork. However, if the work is completed and the patron does not wish to purchase the other half of the work, and you'll see what I mean there, just remember that your deposit will always be non-refundable. Free of any claims of interest, the patron will have no additional costs to the artist, because just like anything, the patron has the right to refuse. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I make people pay 50% up front because that covers basically material costs, that will cover the time, invested. But I actually don't start the artwork until I have that 50% deposit. Even if I let them make payments, let's just say it's $1,000 piece and they don't have $500 right off the bat. Because here's the thing, if they don't have 50% of it now, how are they going to pay you that other 50% of it later? So that's why I always take 50%. Now, copyright. The artist reserves common law copyright on all commissioned work, meaning basically your design that you make for somebody, they can't turn around and sell to somebody else. And the patron can't reproduce your work without written approval. Now, have I had a commission piece where I cannot show it and it's basically for the patron and only for the patron, like a private piece of artwork? Yes. And I sometimes charge, like I add an extra 20% because I can't use that artwork to sell myself or promote myself. Payment amounts. Now this is where it gets tricky. If you're young, you do what you can, you take what you can. This is the part that I think the artist struggles with, and this is why I do everything on contract, even with my own family members. Families are especially very good at not paying their artist relatives. So payment amounts is what you agree on. Have I had to like delay a payment to receive? Let's say somebody struggled, their car broke down, something like that. Yes, they've had to do that. Payment terms, I always do the deposit of one half the selling price. So if I was selling something for $100, I expect $50. If I'm selling a selection of artwork for $1,000, I expect $500 up front. I would sign, they would sign. Now, in a traditional, you could do one piece, and notice that you agree on the size, what you're doing it in. This is just number of artworks, that would be just one. The date, I always do 3 months. Now, if it's something like a painting, that might be 6 months. I always give myself time one. Even if I don't charge them, I might do some study time where I'm watching TV and I might just practice. If it's something to do with horses, I might just practice doing horses. And of course, they initial, I initial, and usually this is one piece, but I've had it go, to, as you can see, maybe 5. I've done 5 pieces for one person or a company. And then I actually have a separate for digital art commission. So if they want me to do digital art, I don't need to worry about size and all that other stuff. I basically, it's the same intent, whatever we agree upon, we just kind of handwrite it on the contract, and they give me 50% up front. And when it gets done, I will send them the files the moment I have. I do not send files. If I send proof, I usually take a photo with my phone of the computer monitor. So it's not a clear, because you know the distortion between the monitor. So I'm not, that way I don't have to worry too much about watermarks and stuff. And I should do a video talking about watermarks and stuff like that to protect yourself online. Now, the final contract I'm going to talk about today, and that's a freelance artist contract. Now, I have done some work with some comic book companies, some independent people doing comic books, and most of those contracts from the bigger companies you can't share. It's in the contract. It's going to be like a packet. When you do a company, let's say for comic book art, you'll get a packet and you can't share it. It'll tell you how much they're going to pay you. It's sometimes it's a straight fee. We'll pay you $250 per page. In my case, it was I had to fix panels. They hire somebody, something happened and they couldn't finish, so they needed somebody to be able to mimic the style. And you get paid per panel, which sometimes in those cases you're almost getting a page worth of work, because you have to like honestly study the style. Every artist is a little different, and you just kind of filter it in. You make those changes, and it's good for the colorist to go in and be done with it. Now, the others is your friend. When you're young, you might come across people you might want to partner with. If you and a friend want to go hand in hand, they're a writer, you're the artist, and you want to create a book together, do a freelance contract with each other. And yours would be 50-50. I just noticed something on this, and I'm going to cross it out. My bad, hopefully. I had a name in there of a contract. So what I did is I met a person that was recommended by a friend, and they needed 18 illustrated pages for their book. And so what we did is he didn't have the money to pay me. So I made this contract. This is a very basic, and I want you to go over this one. This one I will read to you, because like the last contract that was very similar to the first one. The parties of Mr. O and John Doe, writer, agreed to the following. Mr. O produces one cover illustration for John Doe's book, we'll call it book, and produce 18 images for John Doe's book, and that's within, and I'll probably show you the book sometime. The ownership of the original artwork and the rights to sell will belong to Mr. O or his estate. Notice that I said my estate. So if I died and this book hit it big, this protects either my family or my wife, and that if he makes millions of dollars, they're owed a portion of that. Because he wasn't giving me any upfront money is why I own the artwork. Because that way I can at least sell the artwork that I created to make at least a little of my money back. Now, because it was an investment on my part, it wasn't 50-50 because this was his baby, his work. He had sketches done. He did a lot of the legwork, so it was a 40% of net profit, not gross profit. Gross profit is he has to pay for stuff, and whatever he makes, I would get 40% of that. He will be responsible for promoting, advertising that has nothing to do with me. Agreed to have my name on the cover and allow me to place my bio in the book because if anything, I get to sell myself. Now, takes responsibility for all taxes for the sale of the books and any responsibility, like I said, for advertising, showing, or travel. So let's just say he made $2,000 net profit on the book. He gives me $1,000, but he forgot to pay taxes. I'm not dealing with that. I make it clear that he has to take care of his business because the moment I get the money, it's my money. And you as an artist, it's hard to say that sometimes, but that's what you need to say. It's the moment that you get the money, it's yours. It's not refundable. I'm not giving anything back, friends or not. This is stated before we sign. And then if I were to die, he makes it, like I said, to my estate, done quarterly or quarterly on the calendar year. Now, if they went back and asked my wife, we pay you once a year? That's up to her, and then sales figures will be made available upon reasonable and timely requests. Meaning, like if I start to doubt somebody's sales, you hear that in Hollywood all the time and stuff like that, and you just do that to protect. It's not that I didn't trust him; I trusted him completely. I probably would have never asked that, but it's good to ask those type things, and. So that's basically a freelance contract between two people that you're investing in each other. We have the digital contract. As you can see, it's just simple, and we just write the price right on here. And then I have a true commission contract where it's for just a single or multiple pieces. And so you guys don't have to create your own. Don't worry about writing. I will put my email in the thing below. I'm sorry, somebody's yelling across the way there. Just send me an email and I will send you this template and you can make it your own. I don't believe you have to create from scratch like I did. You can use my stuff as a template. I'm here to help you guys. And so next video, I will cover other kinds of contracts to promote your art that you need to sign or you need to think about. But you guys, never forget, you are loved. You guys have a great day, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.